Just when you thought the Indiana Fever drama had calmed down, boom, Sophie Cunningham drops a bomb on the entire WNBA. We're talking locker room secrets, Caitlin Clark's leadership, and behind-the-scenes tension you've never heard before. In this exclusive exposé, Cunningham finally opens up, and what she says about Caitlin Clark will leave you speechless. So buckle up, because today we're diving deep into the juicy details Sophie Cunningham just leaked about Caitlin Clark and what's really going on inside the Indiana Fever locker room. You won't want to miss this. Who is Sophie Cunningham and why this matters? Let's start with this. Sophie Cunningham isn't just any player. She's a fearless veteran, a vocal presence, and someone who has never shied away from speaking her mind. Traded to the Indiana Fever this season, many thought her primary role would be leadership, to serve as a bridge between the young core and the WNBA grind. But what no one expected, Sophie becoming Caitlin Clark's unofficial enforcer, protector, and now the locker room whistleblower. Sophie has seen championship-level cultures. She's played through the grind. And when someone like her decides to talk, it's not small talk. It's a message. And that message just sent shockwaves across the WNBA. What Sophie Cunningham said. Sophie Cunningham recently sat down for a podcast interview and didn't hold back. She was asked about the dynamic inside the Indiana Fever locker room and what's it really like playing alongside Caitlin Clark. Here are the top takeaways from that conversation. It's not what people think. Caitlin is actually one of the most focused, locked-in rookies I've ever seen. People see the noise around her, but she's not the one creating it. Boom! Right off the bat, Sophie is clearing up the media narrative. She's defending Caitlin Clark as someone who's unfairly labeled as cocky or entitled. Then she dives into the team culture. The locker room had some tension early on. You're talking about a team that hasn't won in a long time suddenly getting massive attention because of one player. That's tough to adjust to. Let's pause here. This is confirmation of what fans and analysts have long suspected. There was jealousy, ego, and pressure brewing behind closed doors as the Fever tried to figure out how to handle Caitlin Clark's unprecedented stardom. But Cunningham didn't stop there. What people don't know is Caitlin takes every loss personally. She watches film late. She's texting teammates to talk strategy. She's not just here to shoot logo threes. She's trying to build something. And just like that, the narrative flips. What Sophie just described isn't just leadership. It's transformation. Caitlin Clark has brought a level of professionalism and intensity to a team that, quite frankly, hadn't tasted success in years. According to Sophie, that shift wasn't easy for everyone. Some players didn't like the cameras. They felt overshadowed. But Caitlin never asked for that spotlight. It just follows her. And there it is, confirmation that locker room jealousy was real. Cunningham hinted that early on, the vibe was awkward. Certain vets weren't used to a rookie drawing more headlines than the entire franchise combined. Even though Caitlin herself was humble and work-focused, the sheer scale of attention created friction. But Sophie emphasizes that things started to change. Caitlin doesn't complain. She takes hits. She takes criticism. She just wants to win. That's why I respect her. Sophie's role is enforcer. She admits in the interview, someone's got to have her back. She's taking hits out there that would get whistled in any other league. If the refs aren't going to protect her, we will. And she's not exaggerating. We've seen Clark bodied, shoved, and even blatantly fouled without calls. The league has been slow to respond, and fans have noticed. So Cunningham, as a veteran, stepped up. She revealed that there were team discussions about protecting Clark more visibly, and that, yes, the coaching staff was involved. We told the coaches, if this keeps happening, we're going to send a message. And they backed us. That's a bold statement. One that shows the Fever are united behind Clark now more than ever. Sophie's willingness to risk fines and fouls to protect a rookie, that speaks volumes. But Sophie also confirmed what many feared. The locker room wasn't always unified. There were hard conversations. People had to swallow pride. Some were frustrated by the media noise, and others didn't like how quickly Caitlin became the face of the team. She didn't name names, but speculation is rampant. Was it Kelsey Mitchell? Was it Nalissa Smith? Was it someone else who felt pushed into the background? Regardless, Sophie says those moments were necessary. You need growing pains to become great. The good news is We had those tough conversations, and we came out stronger. This aligns with recent performances, where the Fever looked more cohesive, more fired up, and more team-oriented. But the truth is, if Sophie hadn't spoken up, we might never have known just how close this team was to imploding before finding their identity. Caitlin Clark's leadership behind the scenes. Sophie made it clear. Caitlin isn't just leading on the scoreboard. She's leading behind the scenes. She's not loud, but when she talks, people listen. She asks questions. She listens. She encourages. One surprising revelation: Caitlin actually apologized to the team once after a game. She blamed herself even though we all knew it wasn't her fault. That's the kind of leader she is. That one story tells us more about Clark than any highlight reel could. Humility, accountability, and maturity. Traits rarely seen in rookies, especially with that much pressure. Cunningham says Clark is constantly texting teammates after games to talk strategy, watching extra film, and trying to build trust, not dominate it. She doesn't want to be the star. She wants to win. Period. Since those locker room conversations and Sophie's arrival as a vocal leader, something has shifted. Sophie believes that the Fever are now on the same page. You can see it in how we celebrate together now. Everyone's bought in, and Caitlin's a big reason why. She even hinted that Clark's calm attitude after big wins and ugly losses has stabilized the locker room. We don't ride highs too high or lows too low anymore, because Caitlin keeps it even. Sophie didn't just talk about the team. She also had a message for media and fans who've been targeting Caitlin Clark unfairly. Y'all don't see what goes on behind the scenes. You judge her by headlines and ignore the hard work, the bruises, the film study. She's got more grit than some vets, and she takes every hit, on and off the court, with class. That's a strong endorsement, and it should silence critics who claim Clark hasn't earned her spotlight. What's next for the Fever? So, where does this leave the Indiana Fever? According to Sophie, they're just getting started. The sky's the limit. We had to go through some fire, but we're tougher now. And Caitlin? She's only going to get better. With leadership from both Clark and Cunningham, and a locker room that's finally starting to gel, the Fever may no longer be the league's punchline. They may be its most dangerous underdog. And if Sophie's words are any indication, we haven't seen anything yet. So now we know. Behind the highlights, the drama, and the headlines is a rookie fighting for respect and a veteran willing to risk it all to protect her. What do you think about Sophie Cunningham's revelations? Is Caitlin Clark finally winning over her teammates? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another update.